Hey everybody, welcome to How the Sausage is Made with Chris Cosentino, where I talk with chefs, restaurateurs, athletes, philanthropists, and pretty much anybody that inspires me. We look below the surface, behind the curtain, and dig deep into how these people got to where they are today. Wins, losses, and everything in between. All right, everybody, I am beyond stoked. I have, coming from the Great White North, Marco Frappier. I am really psyched. Marco and I go way back. We've had so many fun events, dinners, goofing off together, and it's great to finally see him after it's been a long time, but also just to chat and catch up. Marco, thanks for taking time. I know you're super busy. What is it, like lunchtime where you are?
It's lunchtime, but we're closed for lunch, and the Great White North today is 100 degrees, so it doesn't feel so Great White North. Yeah,
You know what? It's probably colder here in San
yeah,
Francisco than it is where you are.
yeah.
Oh my God. So for those of you guys who don't know Marco, you know, he's crushing it in Montreal and with Mon Lapin and Rotisserie LaLune. Yes, did I say
Yeah,
that
that's good.
properly?
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I even got my little French accent in
Yeah,
there with,
you
you know,
practice. I
that
can tell. I can tell.
I've been practicing. But Marco has a really incredible history in Montreal culinarily, and I'm really excited for him to share that because we met, God, how many years ago was that, Marco?
I think the first time we met over 15 years ago, 16 years ago at Encanto.
That's right.
Yeah, I came to eat. I was super young. I was barely like drinking age in San Fran, so like I was 22. I think I was 22. Yeah. So that's yeah, that for that long. Yeah, and then you came to cook at Joe Beef a few times, a couple
Yeah.
times, no, one time for the book,
Two times cooking at Joe
two
Beef, and
times.
then
Yeah,
then with Derek over at
yeah.
Maison.
Saw you there.
Uh, so, but I want to start with the beginning for you, Marco, because I think a lot of people don't know how much you have done in Montreal, and I think it's really, you know, and the people that have worked for you since then and during that whole time, you know, what was your first start in the kitchen? What was the first inkling that you wanted to really do this?
So I've been cooking for 20 years at like different levels. I started like at the I wouldn't even call it bottom, but I really started at the base. I worked like in a fast food rotisserie chain here in Quebec called Saint-Hubert when I was like, going to high school and working in restaurants at the same time. That was my first job. Then I moved to Italy when I was 17. So from the age of 17 to 19, I lived in Italy on and off, went to cooking school, worked in restaurants there. That was
So you
kind of
went to
like
cooking school in Italy.
Quebec, so Montreal and Italy, both.
Do you speak
It was
Italian?
I do. Maybe less than I used to, but like pretty good. I think I there was a moment I think I spoke better Italian than English. Now it's definitely switched, but yeah, I can speak Italian. I mean I had to. I was like living in a small village where if I didn't speak, it's like, all right, I just had that's pre-Instagram, pre-social media. So if I didn't speak, I had like no friends or nothing to do. I couldn't even like go in my room and like scroll my phone and wait for the following day. I had like nothing to do, so I had to learn it. Came back, did like pretty classic like stages all over the place, and then um, I worked at Joby for 11 years. Like started garde manger all the way to like partner with the guys and open a bunch of restaurants with them. And I was there 11, just like 11, something around 11 years. Left just before the pandemic.
So
Yeah,
like you're in Italy, you're back and forth between Quebec,
yeah.
you know, you get a job at Joe Beef. Now, what year was this
Well,
at Joe Beef?
so 2009, and like it's so interesting. It's I always think about that moment when I got the job at Joe Beef. I didn't know what Joe Beef was, so I was young, moved from city outside of Montreal to like the big city to Montreal. And I came back from Italy. So there was a place on the corner of where I live called Cafe Unico that was written in the window, fresh pasta and Italian delicacies. I was like, oh, love both these things. So I'll apply there. I applied at a place called Cafe Vespa that was like making paninis. And then my friend was like, "There's this place called Joe Beef. They're looking for staff." I was like, "Oh, I'll bring my resume to Joe Beef also, you know." And the reason I went to Joe Beef is because the two other ones didn't call me back, you know, because my interest was like in Italian food. So I was like, Cafe Panini or Cafe Vespa sounds great, and like Cafe Unico sounds also like, you know, were my two first choices before Joe Beef. And Joe Beef called me and I started, and like, you know how it works. Like at first I was like, oh, I'll see how much time I spend there. And I was there 11 years. Uh, if like Cafe Unico would have called me before, I would have for sure worked there. And Cafe Unico now like is like, I think it's a vape shop. It's not, it doesn't exist anymore. It hasn't existed in like 12 years.
So
So yeah, that's
you're
it.
at the you're at the Beef, and what year was this?
2009, 28 seats, the small restaurant, pre-cookbook, pre-Bourdain. I think the restaurant's 3 years old at that moment. It feels like it's still the growing phase and the beginning of the restaurant, but already is busy and like is buzzing, and like I can tell. I was like, oh, there's so many, like, you know, that restaurant, like in Montreal is really cold in the winter, and like sometimes restaurants like slow down in the winter. Like Joe Beef was busy in the winters. When you're that age, you don't know. Like I didn't know where I was working. It took me like a year to kind of like figure out that like, oh, it's busy in the winter. Oh, there's all these journalists coming to eat all the time. Oh, there's this guy, Anthony Bourdain. He comes here. I've never really listened to English TV or like English television or movies, because that's not like, you know, come from a French family. So I didn't really know who all these people were. Like I didn't know why it was a big deal that like, I don't know, Jimmy Kimmel was hanging out in the kitchen like for a full service, you know, like cracking jokes. Like I had no idea. I was just like, oh. And then it kind of understood, you know, there was like a certain hype or a certain buzz around the restaurant, and it was really really fun to be like at the center of it for like these growing moments, because like it went from 28 seats to like, you know, take the space next door, so now it's 55 seats, to like build a terrace, and now build a smoker, and then how you have tables in the alley and other restaurants 85 seats, and now you have three restaurants on the street and like a wine bar and all. And so it was really fun to be there for that moment,
But you
for sure.
forgot the shed and the shed.
The shed, which you know, Fred built a shed, Fred built a smoker. Had to learn how to operate a trout tank, which I failed miserably. Obviously don't know how to do that, you know. Like didn't have enough time to learn how to operate a trout tank. um but yeah, it made Joe Beef special. It made Joe Beef like a really hectic, fun place to work at if you like to work a lot, you know. Like that's the thing. When people are like, yeah, isn't your industry so hard? Like, don't you find like the hours like crazy, blah blah blah. I'm like, it's the best industry in the world if you fucking like to work. If you like to work a lot, it's the best. If you don't like to work, you're gonna hate this job, you know? I love to work, so like I've always liked it.
I mean, it's fun to think like how much came out of those restaurants that you were all a part of, right? So it started with Joe Beef, and then which one was second after that that you helped open? Was it
So when I
Vin
started,
Pappion?
Liverpool House just opened,
Okay.
so that was already there. And there was a small restaurant that called McKernan that was 18 seats or 16 seats or something like that. At much later after reopened into like a bigger concept, but at that moment it was this tiny restaurant so I was there for the expansion of McKernan. We closed McKernan. That was like a luncheonette. We made Joe Beef bigger. Then we made a Joe Beef terrace. Then we opened Vin Pappion. Vin Pappion was 28 seats, became 55 seats. Then we built the terrace. That was like the motto. Then we built the terrace. And then in the middle of that, we did like an airport thing with the hockey team here that like, you know, didn't actually, it worked, but like kind of like died during COVID. And we opened Mon Lapin, which later on the boys, Banya and I, kind of like parted ways, and like we fully bought Mon Lapin and like operated Mon Lapin on our own. Like, you know, we parted ways in 2019. Yeah, already almost 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, there's so many memories of having meals with you at all the
Yeah.
restaurants, right? And I think that's what was really fun because you brought a playfulness to it, and I think that's what everybody loved about the restaurants at that time was that there was a playfulness but seriousness at the same time. There was a joke, but the food was banging, and you
Hmm.
were always poking people in the kidney with something to like make a joke, but also be really fucking delicious.
Yeah. That was at the heart of the restaurants. Like Fred always had a good. It was like the pun before the dish.
Yeah.
Think of a pun, and then what could that dish become? That was like that was big in 2011. That people really like that stuff. Find like it was fun to like. It was fun. Like I came from like working in 2 Michelin star restaurants in Italy and like into like crazy restaurants in New York that were like so drilled to coming to Montreal in a chef-owned restaurant that the chef is working in, which is like it seems like a normal thing to say, but I feel like you see it less and less. The chef was working inside this restaurant, no like crazy angel investor. Everything was made in house, DIY everything, DIY the plumbing, DIY building a table, DIY building a sidewalk out of like like before like DIY and then kind of like my job was to kind of put all that craziness into some kind of a box and make the restaurant work. I had so much fun doing that for the 10 years I was there.
Your picture vanished. You
You don't
still
see me
there?
anymore?
I don't
I
see you
see.
anymore. You
I
see
s-
me? Oh, there we
oh,
go. Now I see you.
it's go. Oh, because there was like a notification. Something.
Yeah. So,
There you go.
I mean, I think about like so much of the fun times that we had in there. Like we had just talked about it prior to us recording was when I came up to do my first cookbook dinner, right?
Yeah,
And we were in the shed, which for folks out there, how big was the shed?
it's not big enough for 4 people to fit in. That's how big it. That's how small it was.
So not only is regular service happening, but we're cooking in the shed for my
Yeah,
book. We're doing a book dinner out of a shed with like
yeah, like for like 24 people or something, 28 people on the terrace,
with
waiting on
like
the book. Yeah.
yeah, but they got to keep the book that the dish was plated on because they paid for a book and dinner, but
Oh, that was the thing. That was the
we
thing.
plated we plated the charcuterie course on the
Yeah,
book. I don't
yeah.
know if people were happy or fucking
I don't
mad.
know. It worked. It worked. It worked.
It was so much fun.
I remember like Derek brought his own charcuteries.
Yep.
I made stracciatella.
Yep.
It's all coming back. We made like lobster fra diavolo, I think,
Yeah, that's right.
something like that,
We had
and
a
like a few.
we had
Yeah,
fun. We had
because it
so much
wasn't the
fun
it
and
wasn't the awful book. It wasn't the awful book.
no,
No, it was the beginnings.
the beginnings book. Yeah, the
Yeah,
awful
yeah,
book.
yeah.
The awful book was when I came up and did a dinner with Derek
Hmm.
because you had left at that point, if I'm
Yeah, I think
correct.
so. I think
You
so.
had just left to open Mon Lapin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right before the pandemic and all that. So let's talk a little bit about, branching off and what that
Hmm.
was like for you to one, separate from the guys, right?
Yeah.
And open Mon Lapin with Vanya, which I think, you know, for those of you who don't know Vanya, she is the wine queen. She knows, and I wish I still drank because the wines that she would pour were spectacular, and she always really knew how to bring it all together with
Hmm.
hospitality. Her large format bottle service, I'm still enamored with to this day. I think it's the coolest fucking thing that's ever happened.
She
So
does
you,
like she's like sommelier maitre d at the same time. She isn't just like
yeah,
the
she's the best.
like and owner. So
Yeah,
does it all.
she's the best. Okay, so
Yeah.
for all you folks out there who think you know hospitality, take a class from Vanya and you'll learn something. She's got it down to the T. What was that like for you two to do that? And how was that experience? Because it's a lot when you're under someone's umbrella, right? That has all that process going and it's got
Mm,
almost at that point built-in notoriety, right? People are
yeah.
always coming. It's
It
like,
was like the hardest and the easiest decision, like at the same time. Like there was a part of me that like would have liked to never leave. I was really happy. I was like I had my kind of like notoriety out of working there. I had like creative freedom, had my teams, like it was going really well. But there was a moment where I felt that it was time for Vanya and I to do our own thing, not because we didn't see eye to eye anymore, or not because I just felt we were at different stages of our career. I started there, I was 21 years old. Well, no, I was 20 years old. I left there, I was in my 30s. I started there, I didn't know how to make mayonnaise. Like
I
I
want to
kind of
say
knew,
something.
but like,
Let me interrupt here for 1 second. I just want to say that longevity at one place can before we get to the next step, because I think that 11 years
yeah.
with one place.
Hmm.
Granted, it wasn't just one restaurant, right? You ended up
Yeah.
growing and helping and
Hmm.
doing all of the above. But
Yeah.
I want you to talk about the power of staying
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
one place with mentors for that long and what the benefit was, because I think that doesn't happen anymore.
I talk about it all the time with people that work here, and with Jess, my business partner at all the restaurants that in the kitchen. You see it less and less. I personally thought it brought me so much. I didn't learn all these things from all these different chefs, but I kind of did through like meeting people and doing events and blah blah blah. But like I didn't do 2 years there, 2 years there, 2 years there. I did one place 11 year, which allowed me to work there for long enough to be in a position where I could learn so much by creating, being in a position that I was kind of like, I was able to fuck up. I was able to like do something, and then if it didn't work, do something else. And I learned a lot by doing that, by having uh the guys and the structure at Joe Beef to be behind me and like support me in all my ideas and my projects. Because if you stay somewhere like a year and a half, you'll never get high, not high enough, but like far enough, and like to be able to be in a position to bring that much stuff at the table. That's how I saw it. The longest I stayed there, the longest I was able to like put my own word, and I learned a lot from doing that.
I think it's interesting because, like you said, not a lot of people do that now. Everybody wants to jump.
Everybody wants to jump, everybody wants the Instagram channel, everybody wants to like be this, have a lot of followers on social media. It's completely different. It's a different industry than the industry I started in. Which
Yeah.
I understand, the people starting, everybody want something different, but yeah, it's definitely different.
Some of the things that you guys did there that gave you the freedoms, and it's like you said, like managing a trout tank, right? The built smoker in the backyard,
Yeah,
you know, like I remember cooking in that smoker with you, right? Like I remember the giant smoker being rolled up in the back and we did the pomegranate glazed lamb legs, remember?
yeah, 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 yeah,
All that stuff. It's like those things, like I was blown away by what was going on there because there was the DIY, the learn, the grow.
yeah,
And like that is powerful to
yeah.
have that kind of experience with stay power because you are given that freedom to play.
I just think that it's important. I'm not saying like it used to be like this, it's less like this now, but it's important to not being scared of not nailing it all the time. You know what I mean? It's okay to like fuck up. It's okay to get something wrong. It's okay to like, let's do a trout pond, let's put all this effort, but maybe it wasn't the best idea. But like, you tried it. I feel like now people are so scared of fucking up. People want to nail it day one. People want to do a pop-up and sell out and do 600 people. People want to make money right away. Like the learning curve, I feel like is being shortened. And I don't know if that, I don't feel it's a good thing for the longevity of a cook's career.
Do you think that that's based off of financial situations right now? I mean, I think there's definitely that. I mean, when you have investors, like you'd mentioned before, there were no angel investors, it was DIY. And then you've got this investor that comes in that wants their return. So do you think that it's a combination of wanting to grow really fast, or do you think it's and the money issue, or do you just think it's I just need to be where I need to be as quick as possible?
I don't know. I've never I was never in a position that I had like an investor like that. But I can imagine that it's probably like a stress and like you have to like, you sit in these meetings and that was not never my situation. I meant it more as cooks starting, not chef owners. I'm talking about, like I feel like people want to make the right decision so much that it's blocking them in creativity and in like, growth in general. It's okay if you don't work at the perfect restaurant for you for 6 weeks. What's important is that you figure it out and then maybe you move somewhere else, or like, it's okay if not everything's perfect all the time, I find. There's been like a fixation on perfection that hype for the younger cooks that I see that's kind of like stopping the growth, or like, making them anxious and stressed about situation that are like, it's part of life.
It's stifling.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're all going to make mistakes, right? And I think the measure of your success is how you learn to deal with those problems and those mistakes, not if you make it perfect the first go.
Exactly. You
And I think
won't. You
and
won't make it
sometimes
perfect the first go.
and sometimes the greatest discovery is the mistake, because
It's the mistake.
you created something and you're like, shit, this was a mistake, but it actually tastes better than I thought it would be. Or you did something that worked. And I think it's kind of magical when that happens.
Or like something you cook on the fly for a friend that, like I'll never, like one of the dishes that made the most of my life is that ham dish we used to make at Vin Pappion. It was like ham, we called it jambon de la petite Bourgogne or something like that.
One of my
And
favorites.
yeah, so there you go. So that was created for Derek the Man. Derek the Man came to eat, and we had like a different ham dish on the menu. And I remember being like, I can't serve that ham dish to Derek because I don't remember what it was, but I know like there was something on that dish that I knew he didn't like in general. I don't know if it was like, I don't remember what it was at all. It was corn or whatever. So I just made on the fly, like just like a plate of ham with brown butter, tons of black pepper, and tons of that Avoni cheddar that we have here from PEI. And that stayed on like I didn't try it first. I just like I think it's gonna be good. And then Derek came to the kitchen and said, "I wish I thought of that dish, you motherfucker," like something like that.
Yeah.
And then it stayed on. It's still there 10 years later, and like it's like they sell 20,000 a year, and like it was kind of like it was created out of me not wanting to serve something to Derek. If he did if would have not liked that dish, no big deal. It would have not made it on the menu. You know what I mean? Like I just find it's okay sometimes to make mistakes. It's part of we cook for at the rotisserie we cook for 200 customers. Mon Lapin a bit less, but like everything's a learning curve. A restaurant is a living environment, and it's okay to like learn how to make mistakes and learn from the
By the way, that dish is fucking slamming good.
yeah
You've served it to me hundreds
yeah
of times, dude.
yeah. It's a good one. I still like to we don't make it at Mon Lapin. It's still on the menu at Vin Papillon, but every once in a while I make it for staff meal, or and I turn it into a sandwich or like whatever. It's pretty good.
Well, that sounds good as a sandwich too.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh wow. Now you
yeah,
just have the new hamon bear, right? You've got brown butter instead of.
yeah. So jambon brown butter.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's it. It's a good one.
But I like that freedom. You gave yourself the freedom to fail, and freedom to fail is the freedom to fly.
I think so, and like it takes time. Nobody's going to give you that freedom after 3 weeks, like, or after you've been staging for, it takes some time. You need to gain the people's trust, and it only happens with time.
It's funny because it's as we get older, we are much better at self-editing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in an environment for a long period of time at the same place, you learn the vibe and I like to say you learn to play in the sandbox properly,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? You don't throw sand, you don't bring too many toys to crowd everybody out. And it's really learning how to work in that environment, what fits in that environment, what fits on the menu, that vibes with the space and the place and the
Mm-hmm.
people. And I think that that's a really powerful learning curve as you grow, right? Not
Yeah,
only
for
as you
sure.
you personally are growing in your own space right now, right? Mon
Hmm.
Lapin, LaLune,
Hmm.
like you're growing in those spaces, but just as you grew there. And I think every cook
100%.
needs to grow like that. You need to understand the environment you're in, what food fits properly, in that environment. You're not serving a Chinese dish in an Italian restaurant. It just doesn't.
Yeah, yeah.
And that happens when you're young and you're new. It's like, oh, we did this cool. They're different, right? They have their time and place, but it's just not in this particular
It's one of the
place.
hardest thing to learn to teach somebody is like, yeah, that dish you just made is delicious. It's really good. It doesn't fit here though. Like to learn, to teach, not to learn, to teach somebody how to cook and to be creative in a way that that person is happy, but also that fits where he's cooking is the hardest thing to teach. But when a cook or sous chef, a chef de cuisine has that dialed in, it becomes so much fun. Like you're cooking like your own food, but out of the repertoire of that restaurant. Like we make a riffing on sauces that we already do, or riffing on dishes that that place is already doing for the next special, or for the dish for the next, the next tomato dish, or like the whatever. That's what I did for a long time at Joe Beef, is like play with the repertoire until I created my own. That's the that also takes time. That also takes time. You have to like learn the style of the place, the producers, who you're working with, like, and you're also innovating and keeping it in the same style also takes some time. So we have a few guys here. We're lucky that have been with us since the front of the house and back of the house since opening year. We're going to be 8 years old this year, and we have like a core that's been following us since. So feel really lucky that way.
As a chef, I'm always asked the same question. What's your secret to making a restaurant quality dish at home? It's not just the ingredients, it's how you bring them to life, and it starts with the right tools. Heston's ProBond professional clad cookware collection will give you control, consistency, and confidence. It's cookware that makes you want to cook more. Check it out at hestonculinary.com and use my promo code COOKWITHCHRIS for 10% off your first order.
So you've opened Mon Lapin 8
Hmm.
years ago. What
Yeah.
was that like when you first opened? I mean, I've had 2 great meals there. I haven't been back since, and I really miss coming. I would like to say for me, it's like coming home. I love Montreal, and it's a very special place to me. So what has that been like, these past 8 years, and the growth and the learning curves?
Th-
What has that been? I mean, that experience of growing the restaurant, 8 years, that's a really good run so far. And it's like, and you're going and you're not going anywhere. You're going to keep on crushing
yeah.
it. And I think that's a lot for people to understand. Like, what's it like to open the door and to be where you are now is huge.
I mean, the moment it's been a wild time. So there was like a 2 year period that we were part of the Joe Beef group, and then we parted ways, like I talked about. We bought the restaurant, and then 30 days after, the pandemic hit.
Oh,
Just after, I went all in. Uh, Personal bank account drained, and like everything I owned went into that thing, and now it's closed. You know, I don't want to talk about the pandemic too much because I'm like so happy it's over. But here it was really hard. The restaurant was closed for almost a year and a half. Like it was like a really really rough time. So we had to like flip. You know, we had to make it was like a split second decision in what are we doing. Like we have this restaurant, Vanny and I. Right now, if we don't have this brilliant idea, we're going bankrupt in 2 weeks. Just after we bought it, makes no sense. So we flipped it during the pandemic. We made Jess was making this really good sourdough pan seared chicken at the restaurant. We turned that into like a fried chicken concept, and then that made us worked really well. We got lucky. We worked hard, and that made us being able to expand the restaurant. So we brought in Alex, Marc-Antoine, and Jess as partners with us, which runs with us wine, food, and front of the house. We expanded the restaurant, then we'll reopen as a normal thing, as a normal restaurant, not a flip, not a fried chicken, whatever. And it went really well. That's when really like it kind of like took its wing, and like it was going really well before the pandemic, but after when we expanded, it was kind of like a second breath to the restaurant, and that's when I feel like people started talking about us a bit more. Yeah, and that's been 4 years since that, 5 years almost since that expansion. We did open LaLune in between. Crazy. I'm trying to like put I'm thinking what we did as I'm talking, but yeah,
It's a lot, it's
it's a
like,
lot.
and like, and I'm going to toot your horn because I can. And, you won, best restaurant in Montreal. You were always on the list, right? Best restaurant Canada. You
Yeah,
were getting great accolades because of what the hospitality and the food that you guys were doing. And I think amongst all the trials and tribulations of what led up to that, right? And I think
yeah.
that's a lot.
And honestly, even though we never really worked for these kind of accolades or in a way that we would get recognized like that, we would get all kinds of accolades back in the day at Joe Beef. But maybe it's the first time I actually like admit it, but it felt really good to win this and like to be kind of on our own, not under like the Joe Beef umbrella or the Fred and Dave umbrella. Cause like to like still like to feel validated in that way without really actually looking for it and like or cooking a certain way was felt really good, and we got recognized 2 years in a row, and that for sure helped the restaurant being busy, and like resumes kept coming, and so that's been really good for that.
But I mean, the thing about to me that was really special watching from here was that you won on your terms.
Yeah,
Wasn't It
yeah,
wasn't like we're setting up to get these, we want this, we want this, we want this. It's like I'm going to cook the food and give the hospitality that we believe in,
yeah.
and
which
that's
which is
it.
a very casual restaurant, or it's not like we're not this like white tablecloth, super formal service like you would expect these kind of restaurants to like that usually win these kind of lists. Michelin just came to Montreal, for the first time this year, and we were like, let's keep it. Lots of restaurant like flip their concept around to get the star or like cook the star,
Why?
and I don't know, because you're told at a young age in cooking school that's what you have to do. Like they're like considered like the holy grail of everything. So, but we stayed our own way, and we didn't get a star, but I was like, we stayed like that it's totally fine. We didn't renovate everything and like change the plates and like like got a new guy to in front of, or like hired a consultant. We just kept it our own way, and which like when you win awards, staying true to yourself, it means so much more. Because at the end of the day, if all of a sudden we would have changed everything we do to fit in a box and then get a star, I look at myself in the mirror coming out of the shower, I know I'm not doing what I want, and like that's priceless. you know that's priceless, and I feel like I learned that staying a long time at Joe Beef, kind of like create your personality over time over in food. There's nothing that's worth that. It's completely priceless.
You beat to your own drum. And I think that's what makes, what you do special. It's honest. And I
Yeah,
think that is apparent when you sit down in the room and the plates come to you. And I think that's why you and I always got along, dude, because we
yeah, yeah.
always we just
It's
said,
so funny. Everybody thought when we announced that we were opening a second restaurant, we kept the concept secret to like the public. People close to us knew what we were going to do, but everybody thought we were going to open, because Michelin was coming. Everybody thought we were going to open this chef counter or this 24-seat restaurant, tasting menu, super expensive, like blah blah blah. We opened like a chicken eatery. It's
I
there's it
love it.
sits
I love
it
it.
sits 100 people. The most expensive thing on the menu is $37. No, $45 now. $45, and it's a guinea fowl that feeds 2 people. And like
That's
we
great.
do
That's a
we do
killer price
200
point.
covers. We do 200 covers. The restaurant's super busy, and but when everybody thought we were gonna open this like micro restaurant, that was gonna be $200 a head, and I'm so happy that we didn't do that, because the rotisserie right now, I have so much fun being in there. I have so much fun watching people eat and not questioning themselves if like on the tomato, it's sunflower oil or cold pressed canola oil or like this, like whatever, like people are just eating. People forget to eat. Like there's no tasting menu. It's just people are eating. People understand what the menu is. They read it. There's no big question about what am I gonna get. That's like we keep that for Mon Lapin a little bit. And the rotisserie is just like a chicken eatery. Everything on the rotisserie. We do like pork on the rotisserie and guinea fowl and chicken, and we're working on duck. I'm not so happy with our duck that we're doing, but like it's not on the menu, but like I'm working on the duck. We'll do duck eventually. That's hard on the rotisserie, I find. But yeah, it's so much fun. Just spend so much time on fries, just like making good fries. It's a good time.
See, you've given people what they want in your vein, right? They knew you, they knew what they were getting when they came to Mon Lapin. And then you do the rotisserie, and it's an extension of you that's even more accessible for everybody.
But it's what people want, but it's also really what I want.
Exactly.
Like it's really what I want. People are like, it's like, oh, your restaurant is like throwback to childhood. It's so nostalgic. I'm like, it's not nostalgic. I've never stopped eating this. It's not like I'm eating like, like it's it's not like it brings me back to when I was 5. I've been eating rotisserie chicken every week my whole life, and that was the idea to open the rotisserie, is to make a really beautiful restaurant and bring back people. Like there's this tradition of eating rotisserie chicken inside restaurants that's not takeout in Quebec. It's huge. So it kind of migrated to everybody only eating takeout and Uber Eats and DoorDash. I was like, let's just bring people back to eating on premises, not takeout. Vanya wine list, Alex wine list, super state-of-the-art service at the dining room. And then all the same ingredients, birds, vegetables, everything that we use at Mon Lapin, but served in a completely different setting. We didn't reinvent the wheel at all. We just made the restaurant that we really wanted to go eat in. It's not it's not chefy.
You made the restaurant you want to eat at on your day off.
Yeah, which it worked so well that I don't get that many days off, and I haven't eaten there like properly yet. But it's my plan. I'm planning on it in the fall. In the fall, I'm going to eat there. I'm just letting them some time to figure it out. Like I wonder if there's an oil. When it's a good oil machine, I'll go when they have to figure it out. Yeah,
you are so funny.
Yeah. Do you ever eat in your? Did you eat in your restaurant? Do you eat in your restaurant?
I do. I force myself to.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's awkward and uncomfortable because
can't
service.
Do it.
You have to.
I can't do it. I try, and then I put it in my calendar, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch this show, and then I'm gonna go at Mon Lapin, have a thing after. I can't. It's like I block. I don't know why. But
is it because you walk in the door and you become automatic work mode, or is it because you just what is it?
No, I'm like, there's a part of me that I don't want to. I find it obnoxious to be the owner that's coming to eat. I don't know. I've told myself that this year I'm forcing myself to do it. I've only done it once. We were 11 people on a table that fits 4 people. Before our wedding, we had guests in town, and we just went, and it wasn't they just put all kinds of food on the table and we ate, But yeah, this year I'm doing it. This year I'm gonna come with Vanya, eat in my restaurant for the first time.
I think it's important because you get to feel the experience of the diner, and you can catch things that you may not catch when you're working.
But you think I'll get the real experience of the diner? No way.
No, but you'll also see things. It's not just you. You're not.
Yeah.
You'll see what goes on around you, what's happening with service. You'll see things sitting in the dining room that you don't see. So
for sure.
Dust in a corner, a light bulb flickering, the table teeters, the chair height doesn't match the booth height. You fix all those things when you get there because normally you don't do those things. So,
but I think since Vanya and I are front of the house, back of the house owners, I've never felt like I needed to do that. But I've had discussions about that with, Vincent, Ari, and Danny, and all kinds of people here in Montreal, and I need to do it. I feel like it's a me thing. I need to do it.
Well, you come in with, I mean, you don't, you know what? Vanya comes in with one of her friends and you come in with one of your friends. Come in separate, different. Because then you both have
That's
different
good.
experiences.
You know
Because you
what?
can,
When you're in Montreal, we'll go eat together.
yeah,
Let's
I
do
love
that.
it. I mean,
Let's do
you know,
that.
because then you're getting different experiences, right? It's like you're sitting with your friends, and if you're sitting with Vanya, you two are going to talk shop, right? If you come in with a friend, you're going to talk, how have you been? What's going on? What's new? And then you're going to get a real experience.
Yeah,
Whereas if
you're
you
right. You're right. That's
you sit
smart.
with Vanya and you're going to be like, did you see what they did? What did they do? Oh, I didn't like how they poured the wine. This was a bit. And
Yeah,
then,
the toilet paper is on the floor again.
yes, exactly. Whereas if you come in with a friend, you're catching up and it's like really, truly, you know, you're having a meal with somebody else. And same thing with Vanya, you know? And then you both compare notes on your experiences,
Yeah.
and then you have a different thing, because yes, you'll talk about the toilet paper on the floor, or it being on the spool backwards or whatever.
Yeah, have me back once I came here. I'll give you a review. I'll give you a review. 9.7, this dish. 7.3, this dish. 4.1, this dish. Dude, drives me crazy. All these like this I give the salad a 6.8. I give the
God.
chicken and 9.3. It's like, oh, dude, drives me nuts. Because yeah.
It's hard. You know, like, I mean, a lot of the hotels, they do secret shoppers, right? They'll have like the
Yeah.
hotel restaurants, they'll have people come in and do what was the experience like at the host stand, and then they have score points and all that stuff. It's kind of it's good and bad, I think. I think it's also, I don't know, it's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, for sure.
But you need to, I think as people grow and they're doing consulting things and have multiple
Mhm.
projects, I think it's important. Yes, sitting in your own restaurant, not with your business partner, is better than with your business partner and wife.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that.
So now, how did the transition with opening the second restaurant go, and how do you divide your time? Because I think a lot of folks don't realize how much time it takes
Mm.
out of just having one. Then you add a second one, and yes, you have partners and you have chef partner, but it's still a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, I learned to do that on my Notre Dame days on the with the Joe Beat guys. Uh, there's a moment there was 5 restaurants, so now we only have 2, and in the same style as if I was comfortable opening the second restaurant on the same street. So on the same street, it's not the neighbor like we used to be on the Joe Beat group, but it's like 5 blocks down, so I can walk there. So definitely makes managing it easier. It's gonna sound cliche, but it's so true. But it's all about the team. We put a really strong team and a team that we wanted to work with in place at the new restaurant. People that have been with us for a long time that were ready to take the next step, and also people that we knew from the industry in Montreal that we like had like a wish list of people we wanted to work on. We needed 2 people. We wrote only 2 people on the wish list, and they both said yes. So that went well. So we built a good team, and I trust them explicit. I trust them. They Charles Antoine, not Charles Antoine. I'm talking about Charles because I was talking on the phone with Charles Antoine this morning. No,
Oh my God,
Charles,
you're part of
Charles, no.
no.
That's so bad.
Talk about a podcast interview. That would be crazy.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you should do it. No, Charles with Charles Eric, that's the chef here, the chef de cuisine. Is a super talented cook, and he's been doing a really good job. I feel like I'm doing like a hockey sport interview that I'm saying nothing, but like it's true. It's all about the team, 100%.
For sure.
Like it would have, but it would be so hard if we wouldn't have a good team in place. The fact that the team is good, it makes it more work, but I know the restaurant's in good hands. Charles Antoine, my God. Imagine
That would have been a night. Oh my God.
cooking at Montreal Plaza. So Charles Antoine's restaurant
Yeah.
is turning 10 this week, and we're cooking at Montreal Plaza on Wednesday. So we're super excited. I was on the phone with him this morning. That's why I said Charles Antoine. We're doing a 100% tomato dinner.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
6 courses, all tomatoes. I've always wanted to do that, so we're doing that for the 10-year anniversary. It should be fun. We've had like crazy menu meetings.
Oh my God.
Menu meetings. So much fun.
For those of you who don't know him, you must.
Yeah.
And you must
You must.
go. You must because he's a lot.
You
He's
need
a
to go
lot.
because you won't find him on social media. He's
Nope.
not like it's not a big texter. You need to call him or go to his restaurant.
And just hold on for dear life when you get there.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time.
It's a great time. So, what is your thought? Social media versus real life? Because I
Hmm.
think there's very distinct differences right now.
It's two different worlds. I love social media. I take care of the social media for of our restaurant. There's no big plans. We're just doing it like what I want people to see and like what I want to communicate. We work with photographer. So that's for a restaurant when you use it as publicity or like whatever, it has to be real life. I have to be showing the real thing. If you're talking about like Instagram chef or chef influencer, you're doing it for the you're doing it for the clicks, you're doing it for the views, you're doing it for the likes. So that's definitely completely different from real life. But it's also like they're two different industries. They cohabit right now. I think both are there to stay. Honestly, I don't think food influencing and Instagram chefs are going anywhere. They're thriving. They're killing it. They're making all kinds of money. But to think that this is restaurant is wrong. But I'm fine with both of them. They're just not the same thing. That's how I see it.
Did Gatorade ever sponsor you?
They never did, man. And like,
By the way, so folks who
I've
don't know, Marco has been pushing for a Gatorade sponsor for the restaurant for years.
for 10 years. So I'm going to do my pitch. So we're not athletes, but we're sweating and it's hot in the kitchen and we need Gatorade. And they sponsor all these guys. I don't know what they have more than us, but Messi, Ronaldo, the Olympic teams. They want nothing to do with us. I don't know what to do. I don't want money. I just want a lot of Gatorade. I've got hundreds of bottles from customers, but never from Gatorade. Somebody at Gatorade's listening to us. We would love to be sponsored. All I'm asking is a palette of the yellow and red. No green, no blue. So it's there.
Pretty fair ask. I mean, you sweat in the kitchen, you work just as hard. You need electrolytes, and this is the place for it.
Listen, one day it'll happen. We just wrote a book with Mon Lapin. We finished it.
Yeah,
It's finished.
nice,
It's coming out next year. We wrote it with Fidon. And since Gatorade doesn't want to sponsor us, I put my own Gatorade recipe in there.
nice.
So there you go.
There you go. What has been your worst mistake?
Oh, wow. Okay. What was my worst mistake?
Not culinarily, just like your worst mistake.
I've definitely made lots of culinary mistakes. That's a huge one. I've completely fucked up Bourdain's meal one time at Joe Beef when I was really young. But like career mistake, I don't know. Like it's a good question. Like, what would you say is yours?
I have a bunch. I have plenty.
Yeah.
I have plenty. Questioning directions I've taken. There's a lot. Sometimes
Early on in my career, thought that that's my biggest mistake. Early on in my career, coming back from European training and like old school cooking school teachers and like some young mentors mentors I had early on in my career, I thought that like kitchen was all about discipline and yelling and intense, and that's what I regret the most is like thinking and acting like this is good management comes from bad decision making on my side, but also from what I was the only environment I knew, coming up in kitchens. That's what I regret the most is I would have liked for cooking school to teach you that it's not okay, doing stages in restaurants in Europe where you're not told that, you're taught that's the norm. So like, what are you going to do when you become the chef at 21? That's what I regret the most. Kind of like doing that, like, watching Gordon Ramsay on TV when I'm 19 and be like, this is cool, That's what I regret the most. I'm so happy that I'm way, way past that. But I think that the cooking school that I went to is like hugely responsible for not teaching young folks what the good practice is at a young age, showing that it's, you're going to see it's super hard in kitchen because people are going to yell at you and like you're going to be like, called an idiot and whatever. And then you're like, oh, okay, so I need to be okay with that. So you're okay with that for like the start of your career, thinking that that's industry standard. It's not, it shouldn't. I feel like it's less and less, but it should have never been like that.
Yeah, and I also think as a young cook, you're very impressionable, and also you don't have the what's the best way to say it? You don't have the mental fortitude to be able to drive your own path because you are following years of the system and you think that's what you're supposed to do.
I think
And
it's
so
the only path. You don't think
Yeah.
there's another path,
You don't think there's another path, and you're not strong enough to say, you know what, this is fucked up. I shouldn't do this. Right?
Exactly. And even like, even now, like, so what's like portrayed in The Bear and like Gordon Ramsay still has these shows and like their early Bourdain book, like you're reading this as a 19-year-old, you're like, oh, this is what it is. So when that happens to you, you don't think it's not normal. You think this is the norm. You think that's the, like you said, you think it's the only path. And there's definitely other paths. I'm happy the industry is somewhere else right now, but I think that answers your question.
Yeah. I think to answer your question of what has been mine, I think allowing others to sway me to not follow my own direction.
It's good.
Sometimes
Yeah.
somebody gets in your ear and tries to change the direction you want to be, who you are, what you want to do, whether it be for money or opportunity. I think that's really, that's my biggest mistake.
Yeah. Man, the only thing of mistakes, you get up, you learn from it, and you move on. It's the most
Exactly.
important part. Wow, that was
What has
deep.
been
Got
your-
really deep.
I know, right? What's been your best meal?
Best meal. So, like, is there's like anything, or like,
Whatever you want. Just your opinion. I mean, it could be literally
my best meal I've had in the past years in the US has been at Locust in Nashville. Have you been there?
I have not.
It's incredible. It's such a good restaurant. Was one of the most interesting and unique way of cooking I've ever seen. It's a guy cooking in Tennessee. I think he's from the UK. He's from the UK. I don't remember which part of the UK. He's from the UK. Was the chef de cuisine, I think, at Noma. So like there's that. And also like it's like a soup. He's like a lover of everything Japanese. So it's like a mix of all that. It's insane. The day I went, the only thing they had to drink was champagne and Guinness. That was one of my best meal in the US. In France, I ate at Le Clarence, Chef Christophe Pelé, which does like a super casual but yet elevated cuisine, but in a crazy palace setting. And these have been like my best restaurant meals, I think, in the past few years. Yeah. For my birthday this year, my wife, Vanya, she didn't hire because nobody got paid, but she got Elena Faita and Joseph Di Stasio, which are like the Lydia Bastianich of Canada, to come make lasagna at home. Bro, it was crazy. Vanya was like, I organize you a small thing for your birthday, and it's going to be chill, and a few of your friends are coming. And I'm like, okay, what shall we cooking? She's like, I'm ordering food, whatever. I'm like, okay, no problem. And then these two people that I've grown watching on TV showed up at my house with like a pot of lasagna. I know, they showed up with nothing. We made lasagna. Yeah, they showed up with ingredients, and then we made lasagna at my house. I think that was my best home meal of my life. It was incredible.
That's an amazing,
like eating lasagna, crying.
She's amazing, right?
You know her. Oh, yeah,
I know her. She's lovely, right?
Yeah.
What fun that must have been. I'm sure she brought all her canned tomatoes that she mills and puts up every year, right?
Man, I was making meatballs. and I think I was making them too big. She slapped me on the head in my home. It was the
I
best.
can see her doing that.
It was the best. It's so good. Meals
Oh my
like,
God.
like you said that, then my head went to restaurant meals, but then when you go like family meal and like friends, like there's like so many like moments like that are so special. During COVID, my friend Jesse came to my house, and like when we couldn't really see people, like we're doing like every Monday, we cooked something different that we've never cooked before. Like these moments were so special. They're not restaurant meals, but like I cherish these moments more than probably most restaurant meals I've had in my life. Like
Well, I
cooking
think that's special.
Japanese oden at home in February in Montreal when you're like supposed to be isolated and not have anyone at home during COVID. It's like felt really, it was like one of the best meals of my life for sure.
What won't you eat?
There's a few things. There's not many things. There's a few things I know that you're good at cooking that I struggle eating. Like, I have a hard time with like, I eat almost everything, honestly, but, like I struggle with lung, like, like the kind of obvious things, like I struggle with lungs. I've never successfully really liked like the 100-year egg.
Oh God, I
How
don't
it's
like
called.
those either. No,
Yeah.
I don't like those
But
either.
like other than that, man, I don't know. I tried anything. I tried everything, and then maybe just won't eat it again after. What did eyes? I don't fuck with eyes. But there's just like
Yeah, eyes are kind of
normal
gnarly
shit.
for people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish eyeballs are fine. Those are good. They're like
I was in
know.
Morocco a few years ago, and these guys by the desert were like making a roasted lamb, a méchoui, and he was like trying to give me an eye. I was like, the delicacy for the guests, and I was like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so grateful we're doing this. I'll skip on the eye. If you guys are fine with that, I'll skip the eye. I'll leave it to you. If it's that much of a delicacy, you eat it. It's yours now,
You should have it as I am passing it to you as the guest.
You can have it. It's all.
You're
all
the host.
Good,
yeah.
There's not that many things. I tried eating.
If you could have dinner with anyone, with us or gone, who would it be?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to like check a few people on that list in my life. I've had like dinners with Bourdain and like with Paul Bocuse. Like I was so lucky in that way. These people I've already eaten with. Who would I? You know what? I would love to bring back like healthy grandparents and like have like a last meal with them, knowing that we can have like a normal conversation, and my grandma cooking and my grandfather making dessert and coffee and like all of that. I really miss that. They're still alive, but it's not the same at all at what it used to be. I would love to like bring back these like healthy grandparent moments. Honestly, that would be the meal I would love to have the most, for sure.
What's been your biggest culinary flop? The dish that tanked so bad? Because you remember Culinary Arts, right? That magazine that had that whole section about dishes that tanked and what did the guests know? And I always go to this and everybody laughs about it, but there's always something to be said for that, right? There is that.
There's so many things. But there's a thing lately that felt really bad, that was really not good. Some farmer brought me a big bag of hops. Hops, you call it? Make beer?
Yeah.
And he was like, I heard that you can make other things with that, And I was like, I'll try to make like an ice cream, like infuse like hop and like make a hoppy ice cream. It's one of the most disgusting thing I've ever cooked. It was like the most bitter. Imagine a bitter and tannic ice cream. It was a lot of the bad things I've done were ice cream related. I was like, oh, maybe I can soft serve this. Maybe I can like.
You are the master of. I will say you are the master of soft serve.
Yeah, but also it comes with a lot of things that like are a huge failure. The hop ice cream was definitely not good. Back in the day at Joe Beef, we hosted St. John from London, and we made like he does like a Fernet Branca ice cream, but we misdosed the recipe, and it got everybody so drunk. just like eating the soft serve and getting drunk, but you don't realize it because you don't think you're drinking. And like, I was like, not the it didn't make it to the customers, but all the cooks and Lee Turner, we
Oh
were
my
like,
God.
we're buzzing. Like we shouldn't feel that way eating ice cream, you know? But yeah, man, I don't know. One time I made a terrine with Ari and also like completely, no, there's so many things. But the Ops ice cream, the hop ice cream was terrible.
That's so
I
funny.
tried. We all tried it. I'm so sorry to all the cooks that were like, I was like, are you sure it's not good? And I'm like, oh, no, it's terrible. So many things. So many things.
What's your favorite cookbook?
My favorite cookbook, um, I have this Bible called, it's only in Italian, it's called Regional Cooking of Italy. It's just called like that. There's no pictures. It looks like, do you have it? La
I'm looking.
Cucina Regionale d'Italia.
Yeah. Like recetas. Yeah. I have it somewhere.
And it's like, it's a gigantic Bible.
Hang on, I got it right here.
Oh, yeah?
I do. It's all in Italian, right?
Yes. Is this the one? That's the one. There you go. That's my favorite cookbook.
I got it in
My favorite.
Italy.
That's my favorite cookbook. It's pretty expensive for a book, but like I rather look at that than any modernist cuisine or like whatever. Like this is the best. It's like this there's so many recipes I know in there don't work, but it just opens an eye on regional dishes that didn't
Yeah.
really make it to restaurants in North America. It's so much fun too. It's such a good book. Such a good book. And
It's
I'm sorry,
funny.
Elvio, the guy that showed me this book promised me to never tell anyone. There you go. Now it's on a podcast.
Dude, I remember schlepping this book back from Italy.
It's so good.
It's so
big,
good.
no? It's like super big. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it.
It's a thick
I
one.
can't believe you have it. That's awesome.
It's one of those things where the only pictures in there are little line drawings. That's it. So you read the recipes. The recipes they're not but it gives you the basics. So if you have technique, you can then take this recipe and make it.
It's made for Italians. All the cookbooks in Italy and in Europe that are the target audience is people from that country. They're so different from here because they already take for granted that you know how to cook.
Exactly.
Here you have still to like tell people to drain the spaghetti before putting it in the sauce, you know? Like in Italy, it's like cook the spaghetti, put the spaghetti in the sauce. Here you have to be like cook the spaghetti,
Strain the
salted water, drain the water, and then put it in the sauce. In Italy, it would be put the spaghetti in the sauce. It means it's already cooked in salted water and drained, you know? So that book is kind of written like that.
Which is so true because I write recipes like it's for cooks, right? Like for the restaurant staff.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, you can't do that for the public. You can't do that.
I like to, like, you know, when we text each other recipes, like bullet points.
Yeah.
You know, and you assume that the sushi, like, you know, your cooks are going to know how to read, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so like, here's the gram weights for this. Here's this.
That
and then it's like,
is like that. It's like a nut tagliatelle for 4.
Yeah. That's it.
Because in Italy, you know that if you're on a diet, it's 80 grams. And if you're not on a diet, it's 130 grams. That's how it is. That's the way it works.
What's your must-have tool?
Must-have tool? Okay, let's say other than the knife. You know, like other than the knife, I don't think I could, you know, I've always done pasta in every single of my restaurants. So for sure a pasta machine. For sure a pasta roller. I know how to do the mozzarella thing, but like the restaurants are busy, you know, I use the machine. Pasta machine for sure. For restaurant wise. And at home, the super underrated mortar and pestle, like I use all the time. I don't really use it at the restaurant because it's like crazy. But for home, I had one for like 15 years until I started using it like 5 years ago, and I use it every day. So that's it.
What makes you happy? What makes you happy as a chef?
Dude, I love watching people eat. I love like looking at people eat. Like if you come in my restaurants, the staff always makes fun of me. Like I peek, you know, like I go like this. I love watching people eat and look happy and seem happy. Like it's a French fry, whatever they're eating, a French fry, a soup, a sundae, or like the newest thing we came up with at Mon Lapin, like I love. This makes me the happiest. To see like the dining room buzzing and busy and loud and people a bit tipsy and like look happy eating. Like it's my favorite thing. I love watching like a busy dining room of a restaurant is the best feeling in the world. Yeah.
It is. It's that instant gratification, right? Like you make something and you make somebody smile. It's
Yeah,
powerful.
like that time I served that ham to Derek the man, I was like waiting from afar, to see if he had a reaction. When there's no reaction, I just walk away.
So, you ready for some quick questions?
Let's do quick questions.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Drip
100%.
or espresso?
Espresso.
Milk or no milk?
No milk. Milk, macchiato.
Pancakes, waffles?
Pancakes.
Oatmeal, yogurt?
Oatmeal or yogurt? What is this? Yogurt? But I don't eat that. I don't ever eat. I don't, I cook at the restaurant. I don't have breakfast. I have bagel. That's what I have. Just a
You have
bagel
bagels?
every day. I have a bagel every day.
Okay,
This is it.
which bagel shop? Oh, that can be dangerous.
Saint-Viateur. No, Saint-Viateur. I'll fight anyone. Doesn't matter. Saint-Viateur for sure.
Bacon or
Montreal, New York. Montreal.
Montreal.
Yeah.
I'll say Montreal.
Yeah, okay.
Bacon or sausage?
Sausage. Love
Chicken?
sausage.
Chicken or duck?
Interesting. Chicken, man. I think I can have like chicken every day of my life, the rest of my life. For sure.
Beef or pork?
Pork.
Quail or squab?
Squab.
Hot dog, hamburger?
Hot dog. Montreal hot dog. You've never had one? It's delicious.
Ketchup or mustard?
Ketchup or mustard in the
Yeah.
hot dog, or like as a condiment?
As a general,
Mustard.
whole
But,
grain
like,
or Dijon?
Ketchup needs to be there for fries, though. If you can't do fries,
Well, see,
with
that's
mustard.
different. Yeah, fries but like
So
certain things,
mustard for everything else, but then ketchup for fries.
French fries or onion rings?
French fries.
Taco or burrito?
Dude, in Montreal, that's a hard. Like in Montreal, there's none of that. But like, so
Really?
I'll go tacos.
But what would you prefer, a taco or a burrito?
I don't think I've ever had a burrito.
No?
No, maybe like I've had a breakfast burrito, like in Austin.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. It's not a thing here.
That's so funny. Pasta or noodles?
Pasta, but I love noodles, but pasta.
Ravioli or dumplings?
Dude, it's so hard.
I know. That's why I do this.
I think I'll do dumplings. I'll keep pasta and dumplings.
Raw oysters or raw clams?
Raw oysters.
Lobster or crab?
I think I'll go crab.
What type of
for
crab?
that one. We
What
have
type of
snow crab here, which I really, really like, which is like it's the first sign of spring in Quebec. Love snow crabs. I'll eat snow crab over lobster any day, but I love both, love cooking both, but love crab is just feels so special.
Sea urchin or caviar?
It's time and place thing. I would go sea urchin.
I agree with you on time and place. I
Yeah.
prefer sea urchin for sure.
But like, there's nothing that beats like a lot of caviar. Like, it's so good.
Of
But
course.
it's just there's a bit more work to sea urchin, and there's a bit more like but caviar is good. But sea urchin.
Black truffles or white truffles?
I think I like black truffle better. Honestly, like you can cook them a bit, and like when they're like really fresh Périgord, they're good raw, but like they can take a bit of heat. Also, for your buck, it's a better
Better.
deal.
Yeah. Meatballs or sausage?
Sausage, love sausage.
What's your favorite style of pizza?
My favorite style of pizza, I like the. I'm traditional. I really like the traditional Napolitan, like chewy crust, no undercarriage, kind of like floppy. I love that pizza. Yeah.
Dessert or cheese?
Cheese,
Red wine or white wine?
dude. That's crazy. Red wine or white wine? White wine, I guess, but like I drink red wine all the time, but white wine.
Light
White
beer
wine
or dark?
because that's like champagne. So white wine.
Light beer, dark beer?
Light beer, crushable. Anything that's really cold just needs to be cold.
White spirits, dark spirits?
I don't drink that much spirit, but like that's I think dark. But like I'm not like a big cocktail guy or like to have a digestif like or an amaro. But for somebody that's like my his wife's a sommelier, like I don't drink that much. I could be fine without any of these for the rest of my life, I think.
What's your favorite sparkling? Champagne, Prosecco, Cava, Lambrusco?
Like Vanya's listening to this, I can't fuck with that. So champagne for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, here comes the next one. Ice cream, soft serve, gelato, sorbet.
Soft serve.
I knew you were
Soft
gonna-
serve all the time.
Cup or a cone?
Cone. Cone.
Sugar cone or styrofoam cone?
Styrofoam, that's funny. Sugar cone. Sugar cone. Yeah, yeah.
That's what they call them, right? Styrofoam
Yeah,
cones.
yeah, the one that's like, yeah, I've never heard that, but it makes sense. I know which one you're talking about.
That's the one with the
Yeah.
little stupid kid with the big smile
Yeah, yeah.
on the
But
big
then-
box next to the thing.
But then it's like when I go to Italy, it's just like I have gelato 3 times a day. It's the best. No soft serve in Italy.
Nope. Chocolate or fruit?
As a gelato or as a
No,
soft
just in
serve?
general as a thing. Do you like chocolate or do you like fruit better?
Fruit.
Honey or maple syrup?
Honey, I think.
Them is
Honey.
fighting words where you're from.
Yeah, I think honey. I mean, I love maple syrup, but I would pick honey for sure.
What's your favorite candy?
It's like I love Kit Kat. I love Kit Kat. I eat Kit Kat. Is that a candy or is that a candy? Like, does that not? It's a chocolate bar.
Well, there's a big discussion about that. Some people say it's not a candy, it's a texture.
Well, as I'm talking about it, I'm like, maybe it's not, maybe it doesn't count.
It does count. I mean, it is
Yeah, I
chocolate
love
covered
Kit
with
Kat.
sugar covered with chocolate.
Definitely a candy.
know?
Kit Kat. I love Kit
What's
Kat.
your guilty pleasure?
Dude, popcorn. If you put popcorn in front of me, doesn't matter how much there is, I eat the whole thing. Like I cannot like put this much popcorn. I eat the whole thing. Popcorn.
What would be your last meal?
My last meal would be, I think my last meal would be a lasagna cooked with the people, like, you know, a lasagna that you make with your friends, that you sit down and eat family style in the middle of the table with a big Caesar salad and a tiramisu. As long as my friends are there and we're eating family style and there's a lasagna, that's my last meal for sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, Marco, if they want to find you on Instagram, what is it at?
It's macro frappier, which means mackerel. Just write my name, Marc-Olivier Frappier. I'm there. I'm like in a big repost. I need to make more content. Find me there. Come in my restaurants, Mon Lapin, LaLune in Montreal. Yeah, man. It's good. It was fun. Already an hour and 20 minutes? That's crazy.
Yeah.
18 minutes?
Dude, there's some that go forever. It's crazy. People,
Yeah.
it's fun. So, folks, if you're going to Montreal, you have to go visit Marco. Trust me, the restaurants are well worth the visit. He's always a blast, and Vanya will show you wines you've never seen before and really just open your eyes to some really, really beautiful hospitality and delicious food. Again, Marco, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you got to get
Thanks
ready
for having me,
service.
man. That was fun.
Super fun. We got to plan. I got to plan a trip and come up, and you and I are
Yeah.
going to sit down at the restaurants together, right?
Yeah,
Is that the
you're
deal?
coming to eat. You're coming for the book launch next year.
Oh, yeah, for
All right.
sure.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for listening to How the Sausage is Made. If you've liked what you've heard today, please make sure to like and subscribe, and don't be afraid to tell your friends about it.